Hi everyone, my name is CeeCee and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, I forgot how to YouTube. So a couple of months ago, Sammie from Kiss My Creative here on YouTube reached out to me asking if I would collaborate with her on a project that she had. And of course I said yes. Sammie and I, we've met a couple of times and she's this wonderful, fun human being and crazy talented. We interviewed each other. So she had 5 questions for me and provided prompts according to my answers, and I did the same thing for her. So while I'm going to be playing the interview, I'm also going to be putting together this watercolor painting that I did, and I will come back in the end to explain how I handled the prompts / challenges.
Hey CeeCee, what's
up,
Sammie? How are you? Oh my God, I missed you.
So do I. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me in March Collabness.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. Are you ready for your questions and your prompts?
Yeah.
Okay. You have your pen and your papier?
I have my papier and my pencil.
Oh, papier.
Et un crayon.
Crayon and papier. 2016? It's not.
No, 2019.
Okay, let's get into this. So, question number 1, if you can go back to like your earliest memories of doing art, any kind of art, just your earliest memories of doing art, did you ever think that you'd end up where you are today doing watercolor and being the watercolor champion that you are?
Oh, I'm not sure I'm the champion, but no.
You're
I
the
don't
champ.
think I've ever seen myself as a watercolor person, honestly. Um, when I was young, I used to draw a lot. And
Okay.
then I let it go for so long and got
Yeah.
married, had kids, and was working, doing a non-creative job. And I think it was a trip that we took to Hawaii that got me into scrapbooking. That's how I started.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and then it led into card making. Then I did card making for quite a bit. I was even a Steppin' Up demonstrator.
Yep.
And got into mixed media because of my friend Giselle.
Yep.
And
Hey, Gigi. What's up, Gigi?
yeah, I hope she's going to watch this. And then all of a sudden, in the midst of doing mixed media, I'm not sure how it happened. I just happened to start watercoloring and truly found my passion with it because it really resonated with me. Not only is the medium um, simple in a way because it's just that's all you need. You need your paints, water and brush and paper, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think I
it.
was able to find my true passion doing that because of how the medium is worked. And it also gave me a full-on outlet for it, and it kind of like brings me back to my drawing days because you're kind of like in control. You're not really using um, stamps. If I
Right.
compare this to card making, you're not really using stamps, so you're creating your own imagery. And I think both of these specifications for that particular medium resonated with me in that respect, is that it's a relatively clean medium, and it
Yeah.
also allows me to be as creative as possible with my drawings. So,
Yeah.
but no, I had no idea. I had no idea that's where it would land me at all.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I kind of knew that would be your answer because I remember when you were kind of slowly making that transition from mixed
Hmm.
media into
That's
the
when we met,
watercolor.
actually,
And
right? Yeah.
yeah. And it's like I had been watching you for so long in all your mixed media because that's how I found you. And then I saw the transition. And CeeCee, you're like, I knew that it was your calling because it was so natural. And
Mm.
I say you're a champion. You may not think you're a champion, but we're our worst critics. Trust and believe you are a champion.
Aw,
And it's
thank
like
you.
people would think you've been watercoloring for years and years and years and years the way you do stuff. So I love that answer. I love that you've
Mm.
transitioned that way. You opened my eyes to watercoloring because I never used to play around with watercolors myself
Mm.
until, seeing you transition, be like, ooh, I like that. Mind you, I still love the mixed media too, but I love watercolors now. And
Hmm.
so that kind of brings us into your first prompt.
Okay,
Get your pen ready.
I got it.
So this is one that you may not like, And I'm hoping that this can work because I know that you recently purged and decluttered. So your
Okay.
first prompt is I want you to use your least favorite, lowest quality watercolors in your
Ooh.
art. But if I don't want to make it too hard, so you don't have to use it solely, like you don't have to
Okay.
only use this super bad watercolor, but you have to use it in there to a point where don't try to cover it up. But yeah, try to find your, like, see if you have really bad quality watercolors left that you might have bought a long time ago when you were starting,
Mm-hmm.
and use that. Mind you, I know I took those chalky ones from you.
That's
You- you're,
true.
you're probably happy I did that.
Darn it. I don't even know if I have any of that, but I'll figure something out. I'll figure
Figure
something
it out. So here's like the backup to that though. If you can't find crappy watercolors to use,
out. Mm-hmm.
then find a crappy brush
Oh God.
and use that. Not in your whole piece, but in
Okay.
there somewhere.
Somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, so either or.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
Hmm.
Question number 2.
Yes. She's laughing already.
I'm laughing at like giving you that last prompt, but don't worry, there's good ones in there too. Okay. So question number 2 is, so it kind of like goes with what we were just saying. You went through the whole mixed media art journal phase,
Mhm.
which is a phase that I to this day absolutely love. I still binge watch all of those videos. Don't ever get rid of them from your channel.
I promise.
But my whole thing was like, okay, so what was your favorite thing about that form of art? And like, it's kind of a two-parter. What was your favorite thing about that kind of art? And do you ever feel like pulling out texture paste and stencils and acrylics and glazing mediums? Like, do you ever get that urge anymore? And what was your favorite thing about it while you were doing it?
I think I'm going to answer the second part first. Yes, I do get the urge from time to
Hmm.
time. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's something that I enjoyed for sure. That's why I did it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have stuck with it for a little while.
Yeah.
I do enjoy. There are certain mediums that I preferred and still
Yeah.
is to this day. And the one thing that I really enjoy using is stencils because
Yeah.
I think I don't know, it's like introducing a second piece of art within art. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I can totally see that.
yeah, and I like the fact that I like. Okay, so art journaling, the thing that I liked about it the most was the layering of different either mediums or imagery, whether it's, like I've seen you do washi tape and tissue, lots
Yes.
of tissue,
Yes. Yes.
paint. So that aspect of it was fun because I felt like there was no limit.
Yeah. Because there
And
isn't.
even, yeah, exactly, there isn't. It's not like you, it's not like you're creating a specific imagery, although
Mhm.
you could, but I think art journaling is more expressive in a way that I want to say a little bit more freely.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can grab a whole bunch of different products is also another kind of freedom in itself. So,
Yeah.
for that reason, I really enjoyed art journaling. But although it's funny how the name art journaling implies that there's going to be writings because journaling is actually writing about something.
Exactly.
And yeah, and I've noticed that in most of my art journal pages there was not a lot of art journaling, and I think that's the idea of what most people get, like, or most people do. They will art in a journal, but it's not specifically journaling. It's a
Yeah. I
journal of
totally
art.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree with that because I don't write in my art journals either. And
Yeah.
I always thought, oh, am I supposed to be journaling in here? And so for me now, what I do, and this is just to help my own brain,
Mhm.
is I'll think of an art journal page as like what you used to do and like what I do that doesn't necessarily have the writing. And what
Mm.
I call an art journal page that has actual journaling is a creative journal. And there's a difference for some reason, because I feel like a creative journal is more about the journaling, but then you add a little creativity to it. Whereas
Mhm.
an art journal is more just art in a journal book. That's how
Yeah.
my brain works.
You know what? And you just made me realize that there's a difference between art journal and art journaling.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an art journal is a journal in which you make art, like you said, and art journaling is about the writing.
Hmm.
Like this is the way I see it, because
Yeah.
journaling is, for me, it means writing a story or writing about something. But
Right.
I mean, it all comes down to, yes, I still have the urge to art journal, especially when I see my large moleskin book. I have an extra large moleskin book,
I
and
know.
the fact that, there's a I sometimes open it, and just, this is going to sound really crazy, but I just open it sometimes and I run my hands on an empty double page because the
Oh, I know
paper is
all
so
about that.
nice.
I love
And I keep thinking,
papers
yeah, yeah,
and
and I,
smelling them.
yeah, and then I keep thinking, okay, I need to cover this with stuff. And then I look at my watercolors and I close the book.
Exactly.
But
Well,
I mean, I'm not discounting the fact that I will from time
yeah,
to time, do
yeah,
a bit of art journaling.
which I could see, because I mean, at the end of the day, you're just an artistic person, so I can
Mm.
totally see why you would still have that urge sometimes.
Yeah.
So, okay, that kind of brings us into your second prompt,
Mm-hmm.
which is I want you to use a technique that you used to use in your mixed media art journal that you don't use anymore. So I know there may be techniques like your line work and stuff that you might have put in your art journal mixed media stuff before and you still do line work. Don't try
Mm-hmm.
to cheat out. It has to be it has to be a technique that you don't use anymore, that you used to use in
In
your
our journaling. Okay.
yes. Yes.
Okay.
Don't worry, there's
Well.
good stuff. There's good stuff coming.
Okay. Okay.
I gotta give you a challenge, you gotta get a
Well, I've got two right now. So.
challenge. You sure do.
Okay.
Okay. Don't worry, it'll get better from here. Okay, so my third question now, this is a super difficult question. And it's been on the minds of, I'm sure, a lot of people that are watching you right now on your channel.
I'm a scared.
Why do you love gold so much? Say
Because
it. Say it. Say it.
gold, gold is life. What are you talking about? Who doesn't know that?
I agree.
Gold is it, girl. It's everything. I don't know. It's just something. It's. I don't know. I can't. I have no explanation for my love of gold. I'm not even going to try and analyze myself for it. It just is. You just have to
Yeah.
take it for an absolute. It's gold, and that's that.
Yes. And you love all kinds of gold. Rose gold, champagne gold, all kinds of gold.
Yeah, my favorite is pale gold. I'm not big on like yellow gold.
Yeah.
Champagne is probably my favorite of all times.
Yeah.
And I do have watercolor from Kremer Pigments. It's called Colibri Pale Gold, I believe. This is my ultimate. I do love rose gold. Um,
I know. You have a lot of rose golds.
yeah, but I think my favorites. If I have to be real honest, pale gold and champagne, which is similar, is probably my
Yeah.
favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that stuff too. I've never really been drawn to like the really super yellow golds, but
Hmm. Hmm.
I understand your love for gold. I just had to ask it. There's inquiring minds.
Now I can just
Inquiring- I
imagine the
just,
prompt you're going to give me on this.
I just wanted to hear you say gold, which is really why I asked that question. We had to hear the gold. Okay, so your third prompt
Mm.
is to just play in gold, CeeCee.
Mm.
Yes, so you could play in your gold, throw it in there however you want, but I want it to be like a noticeable gold addition to this piece.
Okay.
So just bring your love of gold into there somehow.
Yes, I like that.
Okay, see, not so bad. Not you don't hate me, right? You love me.
No, I would never hate you.
Oh,
You're a
CeeCee,
lovable person.
CeeCee loves me. Okay. You know, Lucy's watching this and dying. Hi, Lucy.
Yeah. Hi, hey, Lucy, kiddo.
Okay,
Oh.
number 4 is tell us how creativity plays a role or is present in your family life. Because I know there's a lot of creativity going around there.
Yeah. Both my kids are very creative. I have a daughter, Stephanie.
Hey,
Uh,
Steph. She watches. I don't know. Steph.
I don't know, she watches all my videos. Um, she is a graphic designer, but a lot of her friends don't know that she is a great portraitist.
She
She,
is.
yeah, she draws amazingly well. She paints in oil. And then I have a son, Francis, who is a musician.
Yes. Hey, Francis.
Hey. So yeah, they're both very creative. I mean, I would take all the credit, but Stephanie probably takes more after me. Actually, the one thing that a lot of people don't know either is that Francis can draw as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, when and before even Stephanie showed her colors, Francis was drawing kind of like I don't know if you know Drescher. You know, this architectural kind of like drawing,
I
3D drawing.
It sounds familiar, yes.
Hmm. Yeah, he used to do complicated um, uh, architectural designs, and we always thought that he would be probably like a game designer just because of that, you know, that kind of design that he would do. And then he discovered the guitar because of Steph. Steph picked up the
Oh.
guitar when she was 13, and Francis stole her guitar, and she never played, and he just kept on going.
And then the tables were turned and she started drawing and he got into the music.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And I can't take the credit for the music because their father also plays the guitar. So that they get a little bit of both, obviously. But
Yeah.
yeah, both my kids are quite creative. Thank you for asking that.
Aw.
That's really sweet.
Yes, I knew. Well, as you know, I know that, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
good to know, like, because I find that a lot of people you would never know come from like creative backgrounds, or like
Mm-hmm.
me, I get my creativity a lot from my mom, and
Mm-hmm.
Lucy, Lucy gets her creativity from, her family, and
Mm-hmm.
even the other people I was talking to, it's interesting to hear. I feel like it's so cool. And your
Yeah.
children are super talented.
And I'm
So,
their greatest admirers. They're awesome.
yes.
Mm.
Oh, it's because you're the best mom ever. You're my
Aw.
mom, you're Lucy's mom, you're everybody's mom.
Hey, Sammy's mom. She's so cute.
She's
For those
watching.
that
Hey,
don't
mom.
know, I have met Sammy's mom. By the way, I'm not just saying that.
I know, right? Okay, so let's go into prompt number 4 then.
Hmm.
And I'm kind of stealing this one from something Dee Dee gave me as a prompt in the first video.
Okay.
Is I want you to use some sort of inspiration from your kids,
Ooh.
either both of them or one or the other, as far as their artistic creativity. So just pull some inspiration from your kids' creativity and artistic skills, whether it be a musical inspiration or whether it be, a drawing inspiration, and just throw that in there somehow.
Ooh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Ooh, my gosh, you're very creative with your questions.
Well, no, I stole that one from Dee Dee because she had me use she she had me use my mom as inspiration, and so because I was asking the question, I thought, we could flip it. And because your kids are so creative, I know it would be easy for you to grab some inspiration from them.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Okay. Bit of a
and that's
challenge there,
very
but that's fine.
yeah, but very open, like very open. You could
Yeah.
use it in any way.
Okay.
Okay, and so we're on our final question. Oh, it's
Hmm.
over soon.
No, don't cry. Don't cry. We could do August at collabness.
Yes,
Augustness.
Augustness.
Cog Augustness. No, never mind. I'm going too far.
August.
Reel me back in.
August because globless.
All right. Question number 5.
Okay. See, you can't start the giggle fest. You
I
can't.
know. You and I are very dangerous together. We can't keep us serious.
We are, guys. It took us like 20 minutes to start this. Okay. Question number 5.
Yes.
Where do you see yourself like 5 years from now, as far as art goes?
Retired? Because I'll be turning 60 this September. So,
What? You're not turning 29?
I don't
Oh
want
my
to. I
God.
don't want to go back. I'm
I
happy
know.
with my life right now. At 65, what would I be doing? I think the
Wait,
biggest.
hold on.
Mm.
65?
Yeah,
I
you
said
said 5 years from now.
you're not going to be 65 in 5 years.
Of course, and that's what I just said. I'm turning 60 in September.
What? Okay, we'll talk about that later. I don't know why I'm so shocked.
Wow, you
Like
didn't know that?
like I don't know you. What?
I was born in
Oh my
1959.
gosh. Well, listen, you are not going to be retired. Get out of here. You're still going to be doing
No.
amazing art.
Okay, well, see, providing I have all my head, 5 years from now, which I will be 65, as we mentioned,
Oh my.
I don't think I would ever stop being creative. That's just a part of me. It's always been a part of me. If I look back, and even in my younger days, I think it's more of a art business question in my case, because I think I would still be creating the way I create, which is usually very intuitively.
Mhm,
I would probably stick with watercolors, I think, although I may be wrong. But I
mhm,
think I would like to probably, well, obviously improve, because everybody wants to improve. I want to grow my art, that's for sure. But I would love to be able to have maybe a couple of shows,
mm.
but like in a gallery of some sort.
Yes.
But the one
Please.
thing that always stuck with me, though, and that's, I have it in my head, and I hope one day I get to realize that dream. And who knows, maybe it'll be in 5 years. But my biggest wish is to contaminate as many people as possible with the virus of art. I've always said that art is such a wonderful place to be in. It's just not a thing, it's a place that resides inside everybody.
Yeah.
And if people would learn to exteriorize their art, or just like do marks on paper, just put something on paper, the world would be such a better place. Because I do
I
believe in the powers of art. And for me, it would probably be represented by less online presence and more of a big studio, like a place where I could welcome actual people. Because as you
right.
know, my business is online. That's how I present my art, and this is where I am seen. This is where my art is seen. But to be able to have kind of like an open policy, a big place where people would just like walk in from the street and just sit down and art, just for the sake of being in the presence of people that love art and
Oh my,
make art.
it'd be so
That's,
awesome. A place like
yeah,
that would
yeah,
be amazing. I would live in a place like I would go there
yeah.
every day. Forget the coffee shop. I'm
Mm.
going to that place. But I agree. Art is healing. Like
Yeah.
art just makes people happy. And it's like what we were kind of talking about earlier off the call with the whole online community thing. And it's like outside of the art community online, it's a
Mm.
cruel world. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
people say the worst things to people, but in this art community,
Hmm.
everyone is so nice and inviting. And it's because it's art. It's like, how could you be mad?
Well, because it's creating, right? I mean, I still believe, I am a firm believer of the reason why we were put on this earth is to
Yeah.
create. I mean, this is, you get to oh, excuse me, my French is getting the better of me. Exteriorize the passion that's within you. We all have a voice. We all have an artistic voice. People just don't know it.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
it doesn't matter if you're painting stick figures or if you're, doing the basilica, however you're expressing yourself. It could even be through dance or music or whatnot. I think everybody has an artistic or creative voice inside of them. And if you could just tap into that, I'm just talking about like 10% of your creative power, I think we would be better persons. I think the whole world would be better people for that. And so
Yeah.
I've always said my mission in life is to, yeah, is to inspire as many people as possible. So in 5 years, I hope that I would be in a bigger position to do that.
Yeah, I see that happening. And I'm going to be part of your army right behind you on that mission.
Yay! Your army. Oh, look at you, BTS girl.
Yes, I'm ready.
Woohoo!
Of course, you brought in a BTS reference.
Hey.
Okay. Okay. Final prompt. That was a great answer, by the way. I love that. I love
Thank
that.
you.
And I see that happening. So just think
Mm,
positive, put it out into the universe, and
yes.
anyone would have an amazing place like that. It would be you, CeeCee. And I would come all the time.
Oh. Maybe
Okay.
I'll just have to move to Toronto then.
Yeah, I think you should
We'll talk offline.
come to the corner.
Oh no, 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 no.
No,
Let's
no,
not get it back into that one.
inside joke, guys. Inside joke. Don't worry. Inside joke. Scratch that. Okay. Final prompt.
Yes.
Okay. This prompt doesn't have anything to do with the question. This is kind of like an ongoing final prompt I'm doing for everyone. I have 5 things in front of me. So just choose a number 1 through 5. And one of those that'll be your final prompt.
Easy. 5.
5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 5 is use your finger.
Which one? Uh-oh.
Use your fingers with your paint and your artist supplies.
Okay.
Don't go flipping anybody the bird.
I wasn't going to. That that would have been a very easy prompt a few years ago, because a little known fact about me is that I
I know.
can't paint with a brush when I use acrylic paint.
I know. You used to love using your hands.
Yeah. It's a different story with watercolor. It
It
doesn't
sure
really
is.
lend itself. But
No,
I can try. I mean,
figure it out. Figure it out. Hey, maybe you could mix it in with your second prompt, which is where you have to use a technique that you used to use.
Oh,
See how I'm
not
helping
only
you?
is yeah, she's giving me prompt and helping me. I like that. Arrow from 5 to 2. Okay. Drawing at the same time. See?
Okay, and that's pretty much it, CeeCee.
Oh, that was
I know.
fun.
I know. It was fun. I thank you so much. And I don't even know what else to say. You know I love you to death, CeeCee. I miss you so much.
Likewise, it's reciprocal. Whatever that word is.
So it's a word. It's a Canadian thing.
It's a Quebec, it's a Montreal thing. Reciprocal. Oh, I love you, girl. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for asking me to be on this collab. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing all the other ones too, because I haven't seen. I've seen one. I've seen the one with Lucy,
You'll see them. And
but only yours.
everyone right now is watching your beautiful page on the screen. They're seeing how you used all your prompts. How lovely does that look? Look, guys. Look how good she did.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Okay, CeeCee. So did you want to say anything else or?
No, I'm all good. Thank you. I'm looking forward to playing with all these prompts, especially with the fingers. That will be interesting.
Yes.
Whatever I'm doing right now, this is the product of of these prompts. But
And
no, it was
and you
great
killed
fun.
it. You killed it. You knocked it
Of
out the
course
park.
I did.
It's beautiful. We know it's beautiful. It's always beautiful. Okay.
Ah.
We could chat forever. Let's end this. Bye,
Yes.
CeeCee. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.
So the first prompt was for me to use either my least favorite watercolors or cheap watercolors or a brush. I don't really have watercolors that I don't like. I don't have brushes that I don't like either. But then I have this one. It's a bit of a challenge because it's quite small, very pointy. Doesn't absorb a lot of liquid. It actually dispenses a lot of liquid because there's water in the barrel. I went into too much detail right from the bat, so I had to correct that. Here's a bit of a mess because it's a good example of overworking your colors and adding on top, trying to correct things, but that's okay. Then I had to use a technique that I used to use in art journaling / mixed media. I chose stamping because I don't think I've ever stamped over my watercolor paintings before. I love these graphic elements, which ties into another prompt that Sammie gave me, which was use inspiration from my kids. My daughter is a graphic designer and my son is a musician. So these graphic elements remind me of Steph. And the song remains the same. If you're familiar with Led Zeppelin, you will know what I'm talking about. So this is my little reference to Francis. And I've also tried to make musical notes in here. I didn't want them to be prominent because I've never drawn musical notes. So they're just faded in the background and that's fine for me. The imagery also ties into that prompt because these 3 pods / flowers / branches remind me of the unit that we form, myself and my 2 kids. And despite growing and getting into different things and, you know, having different experiences, the song remains the same. Basically, our love for each other and our little unit still remains the same. One of the prompts would play with gold. That one was easy for me. And then the last one was use my fingers because when back in the days where I used to do a lot of acrylic painting, I used to paint with my fingers. So I tried to do a little bit of, you know, dry brushing here with my fingers. I kind of like the effect, but then most of it was covered up afterwards, so there you go. Because I hadn't painted in a while, I think it forced me to think outside of the box, to get out of, you know, that hesitation. But I will leave the link to Sammie's channel, Kiss My Creative, in the description below. Go check her out. Go check out the interview that I did with her and the prompts that I gave her. She's got quite a few videos out there and she's just a straight up nice person and also a goofball, and I admire that in a person. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below and I will see you later. Bye!